headed upstairs. Joe and Jessica, take it away. We'll see you right here after the game.
All right, John, one of the nicest days of the summer here in Los Angeles for the Dodgers and the Giants as the Dodgers try to tie this series up at a game apiece after the extra innings loss last night. And we welcome inside. Hope you're having a great Saturday wherever you are. Joe Davis, Jessica Mendoza, Kirsten Watson joins us in a bit. Dodgers, as they try to even the series, hand the ball to Bobby Miller, and through 4 starts in his big league career, he's been nothing short of spectacular.
Joe, he is so much fun to watch. I mean, 6'5", 220 pounds. He's a big dude, but it's the stuff and the way that he's able to carry himself. Talked a lot about the fastball velocity. I get it, 100 miles an hour. He's got 2 different ones. He's got the 4-seam, the 2-seam. He'll throw more. But how about that slider? That is the best pitch he'll throw. It is so exciting to watch. And then the psyche, the mindset. And you look at what they need out of him. 6+ innings in 3 of the 4 starts. Yes, please. We've talked a lot about the bullpen. They need starters to go long.
All right, some more injury updates for you. Kirsten, you've got them.
Yeah, Joe, unfortunately, a couple more injury updates. Both David Peralta as well as Chris Taylor, we saw them exit the game last night. We do have some updates on them. So Chris actually had a scan today. It showed some wear and tear on his cartilage in his knee. So he's going to have a cortisone shot. He's down today. He'll likely be down tomorrow. They're hoping after about 24 to 48 hours that cortisone shot will kick in, and then they will reevaluate if he needs an IL situation or if he'll be able to come back. They're hoping the IL stint will not be necessary. Then for David Peralta, he came in today, told us that he is feeling much better. He had a mild hamstring strain last night. Dave said that he's going to be down today, but he is available off the bench, likely in a pinch hit situation, and they're hoping that he is actually back in the lineup tomorrow, guys.
All right, Kirsten, instead it's J.D. Martinez starting his first game in the outfield in 2 years. The Dodgers and the Giants. Alex Wood goes for the Giants. Bobby Miller for the Dodgers. We've got first pitch coming up on Sportsnet LA.
Dodgers are dealing with some injury issues, and Johnny DeLuca right there, he'll be batting 5th and playing center field in this middle game of the series against the San Francisco Giants. Now, last night things got a bit weird in the 11th inning. You might say we need a little bit of a circus music or something, Jerry, to go through the 28 seconds of, oh my goodness, what just happened play that we saw.
Yeah, we say it all the time, baseball players are the best athletes in the world. Well, if you're looking for great athleticism, kids, look away. If you want to laugh, you can look at your TV screen. This ball's ticketed to right field, was supposed to be at first base. A lot of action on the base pass. Mookie Betts overruns second base. Got a nice little rundown. You got the Giants all over the place. And Oral, again, these are the best athletes, and these are going to happen every once in a while.
Yeah, every once in a while, like every once in a million years. But you know what? You got to be a great base runner like Mookie Betts to have that happen, because you got to have speed. You got to be thinking about 1 out, and I'm going to get to third. It just happened.
As both of you guys know, every player, if you've been in the big leagues long enough, you're going to have a blooper or two. That was just an all-time blooper.
I had about 58 of them.
Yeah, at his 50th birthday party, they'll be playing that on a reel.
Bobby Miller getting ready to take on the Giants at his 5th big league start right after this.
And by Jack in the Box, introducing Snoop's Munchie Meal, available for a limited time only at Jack in the Box. Dodgers and Giants ready to play the middle game of this 3-game series, and Bobby Miller makes his way in from the bullpen a few minutes ago, getting ready for his start. Ruling the plate is presented by Burger King. Bobby Miller, who had a .565 ERA in AAA, comes up to the major leagues, and he's given up 2 runs in 23 innings, including 16 consecutive scoreless innings, which puts him on a short list of the longest scoreless inning streak by a rookie pitcher for the Dodgers in a long, long time.
Look at the names. I mean, you got to love Fernando Valenzuela at the top. You see Oral Hershiser there, and Fernando a few more times. Tony Gonsolin, 2020. 16.2, but Bobby wanting to continue to go up that list.
Tries to become the 2nd pitcher in big league history, regardless of team, to start a career with 5 consecutive starts, at least 5 innings, 0 or 1 run allowed. The only guy that's done that, Fernando Valenzuela, those first 5 starts of the 1981 season. The lineup for the Giants that he'll face off with tonight looks like this, with Wade and Peterson at the top again, then Thairo Estrada at second base hitting 3rd. Michael Conforto followed by Mike Yastrzemski. Luis Matos up into the 6th spot for Gabe Kapler. Then Patrick Bailey does the catching. Brandon Crawford at short. And Casey Schmidt, the rookie 3rd baseman, makes his first start of the series. 6 scoreless innings against the Phillies his last time out. That was after he had 6 scoreless innings against the Yankees. And overall 3-0 with a 0.78 for the 24-year-old from Illinois.
What's incredible about him is how much better he's gotten coming up from the minor leagues, how he continues to improve the development that the Dodgers getting their hands on him and understanding what he can do, especially the fastball, throwing the 4-seam less, 2-seam a little bit more. And you look at the difference in velocity, see those 2 fastballs I just mentioned, he'll hit 100 with both of them, and then the slider and the changeup, that's a difference of 4 to 5 feet when a hitter's like, okay, gear it up for a hard fastball. That's why he gets so much swing and miss on the others.
It's one of those hard fastballs to start the game. Strike 1 on Lamont Wade. And in the dirt, 1 ball, 1 strike. Time for AT&T Fiber fast pitch. Fastest sinkers in baseball this year, and he's at the top of that list. More than a full mile per hour ahead of Sandy Alcantara. This 1-1 to Wade is fouled off 100, fouled it off his foot. And the remarkable thing, Jess, is that, yeah, we continue to talk about the fastballs, and for good reason, but it's the rest of the package that has made it so impressive overall. Opponents are 2 for 34 against everything other than his fastballs.
Yes, and it's all about sequencing for him. Being able to set the fastball up to get to other pitchers. We showed the difference in feet. As Gabe Kapler comes out, take a look at Lamont Wade Jr. He's definitely in pain. They're fouling 101 on the hands off that back toe. And the big toe, huh? That's been a injury part of the body across baseball. Aaron Judge on the IL.
They had Wilmer Flores, who fouled the ball off his foot last night, then homered right after that, but he was placed on the injured list today. Wade's going to stay in there. And it has been kind of the story of the Giants season. All kinds of injuries. It's about as healthy as they've been this last week or so, though. Here's a 1-2 for Miller, and look out. Yeah, just see when you get settled back in there after fouling a ball off your foot. Here comes 100 buzzing by you.
Oh, at the rib cage too. Oh, suck it in. Yep.
Sheesh. 2-2 is in the dirt, but he went around. So a strikeout opens the game for Miller.
Just like you said, too, how about 100 miles an hour at the rib cage, back it up with a changeup. And this is why you see it's in the dirt, but Lamont Wade Jr.'s got to go. He's gearing up for high velocity.
One gone. Jock Peterson leaves a fastball upstairs. If Miller and the Dodgers get 10 Ks in this game, everybody's going to get a free Jumbo Jack with the purchase of a large drink. Peterson had a hit and an RBI in last night's game. 9 games since coming off of the injured list. He's hitting .387 with an OPS close to 1100. Last year was one of his best seasons. He was an all-star for the first time since he was a rookie with the Dodgers in 2015. But the numbers even better this year. Takes down and in, ball 3.
Yeah, and you look at, too, how hot he's been coming into this game. 10 for 20, 2 home runs the last 6 games. He was out there pregame with both his babies taking batting practice. He was hitting, and he had, like, call him Big Jock, Little Jock, 2-year-old and like an 8-month-old. Little Peterson jerseys hanging out. It's like family, though, coming home to hear so many of the Dodgers players and coaches coming out.
Takes the walk, first base runner of the game. He had his wife Kelsey down in the field with him. And still many friends with the Dodgers. Peterson's on and Thairo Estrada's up. 27 years old in his 5th year with time in the majors. Really just his 2nd year as a full-time big leaguer, though. Fouls off the first pitch from Miller. Started his career with a handful of games with the New York Yankees. Giants purchased his contract early on in 2021 and got one more time as that 21 season went on. Then last year hit .260. Had 14 home runs, way more power than he'd ever shown. And has kept on emerging this year. He's top 10 in batting average. He's hitting 3rd for the Giants most days. Takes by the hands here, and it's 1-1. Miller's making sure they're not one bit comfy.
I was going to say, this has been, the thing with the fastball. He doesn't have great command of it, but I think it works. And you saw it with almost hitting the rib cage before the strikeout of Lamont Wade Jr. I mean, sometimes he doesn't know where it's going to go. So the hitters definitely don't. And it's a pitch he's had to figure out because he did his biggest MO. You talked about his minor league numbers when he was struggling. A lot of it was that fastball command, a lot of walks. Started throwing the two-seam more than the four-seam. He seems to have more control of that pitch.
Home of the 1-2 to Estrada, taken away, 2-2. Giants are really good against high velocity typically. And facing plenty of it tonight with Miller pitching. Fifth start in the big leagues. First one against the Giants for Miller, who's 2-2 to Estrada. He is hit on the ground left side. At third, it's Michael Busch. Wrapped around it, threw across to get him. Nice play by Busch.
Yeah, nice job being able to run in on this. Knew the time that he had. Thrown off the front foot. Strike right over to Freddie Freeman.
Busch was a first baseman by trade, has played plenty of third. He's even played a little bit in the outfield lately. Conforto couldn't lay off that first pitch in the dirt. Up to third goes Peterson.
Curveball just spiked into the dirt. Will Smith usually gets around that. You can see he's frustrated. Slamming down his mask. Sorry, Austin Barnes behind the plate.
And a third, 2 gone. 2 balls, no strikes on Conforto. Struck out twice last night, drew a couple walks. And the Giants had no hits through 6 innings in that game and finished with 7 runs on 8 hits. Nothing new though. It's the 3rd time already this year, Jess, where the Giants have been no hit through 5 innings and then come back to win the game.
Tells you a lot about kind of this team this season for the Giants, but Emmett, what a night. Coming in, he talked to us before the game about how nervous he was. Kind of calmed down once he got in there and then realized he had a no-hitter going, so the nerves came back.
Jock Peterson about halfway down that third baseline as Miller fires and misses inside, ball 3. Jock free to wander as far as he wants there with Busch so far off the line. Here's a high fly ball to right center field. Betts and DeLuca going back. DeLuca makes a catch and crashes into the wall. Rookies all over the place. Scoreless first inning for one of them with a little help from another in center.
Watch Johnny DeLuca. Beautiful read, understanding where he's at the wall. Makes the grab, slams into the wall. Last out of the inning for his pitcher, Bobby Miller.
Dodgers coming to bat for the first time tonight. Here's their starting 9. Betts, Freeman, and Smith here to lead things off. Then Martinez, DeLuca, and Vargas. Rojas at short. Busch at third base, and Austin Barnes catches and bats 9th against an old friend in Alex Wood, who's spent 2 stints on the injured list this season. Dealt with a hamstring in April. Came back from that. He felt like from overcompensating from the hamstring issue, it led to a lower back problem that put him back on the IL at the end of May. And he comes off of the IL today to make this start against the Dodgers and falls behind Mookie Betts 2-0.
He's got one of those windups that's got a lot of funk coming from the left side, and so one thing goes out of whack, you can see how it affects the rest of his body. And you look at his pitches too. He's got a fastball he doesn't throw super hard, low 90s. Because of that, he won't get a lot of swing and miss, the changeup off of it, and the slider. But his biggest goal when he's going right is to get weak contact.
2-2. Yeah, typically has not gotten weak contact against Mookie Betts, who's 9 for 20 with 3 home runs against him. On this 2-2 pitch, he swings and misses. Got him with a breaking ball.
Look at the numbers for Alex Wood, and they've not been great this season, but he did do well when he faced this Dodger team back in April. And a lot of it had to do with that pitch, the slider. It's a strikeout to Mookie.
Yeah, the outing in April, 4 2/3 scoreless innings, which is one of his best outings against the Dodgers since going to the Giants a few years ago. He's 0-5 with a 5 ERA against LA. Now in his 3rd year in San Francisco. Deals 1-0 to Freddie Freeman, who fouls it back. Freddie's homered against him twice. Old buddies from their Atlanta days. 1-2. Now Freeman on this homestand just 2 for 17, but those 2 hits massive. Had the game-winning hit in the finale against the White Sox, and the game-tying hit in the 9th inning last night. On a 1-2 from Wood, Freeman sends a fly ball to center field for Luis Matos. Ooh, that took off on him a little bit.
Well, he was jogging on it, thinking this is going to be a can of corn, no big thing. And this almost took off the wall. Yeah, you see how he's being a little lazy on it, and then all of a sudden was like, oh, hold on. Or maybe he just wanted, saw what Johnny DeLuca did, said, I can do that too. He's got to time it right.
2 up, 2 down for Wood. Here's Will Smith taking strike 1. Will had 3 walks in yesterday's game, and over his last 4 games, a .600 on base. 1 ball, 1 strike. You really liked his at-bats last night.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, it's the walks and the takes, which Will Smith's always going to get. And then they tried to get in his kitchen, and the way he keeps his hands inside. It wasn't even a fastball, but oh, my goodness, no one could do it like Will Smith. I mean, he had his, like, knob at his belly button, poking that thing into right field and reached base 4 times. Home runs are fun. I get it. But Will hits plenty of them. The way he battles when he's not swinging the bat right, that's when I'm impressed.
Woods 1-2 pitch, very high, 2-2. The Dodgers 38-31 coming into the day. 3 back of the Diamondbacks, who won the opener against the Guardians last night. And just a game-and-a-half lead over the Giants now. That's a ground ball to third for Casey Schmidt, who finishes off a 1-2-3 first inning for Alex Wood.
Sportsnet LA is available 24/7 to authenticated subscribers, so download the Spectrum Sportsnet app today.
Scoreless game to the 2nd inning. Bobby Miller to face Mike Yastrzemski. 100 is lifted to right. Mookie Betts is there. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 2nd. Miller was kind of all over the place in that 1st inning. Got some help from the Giants, who chased 5 pitches. Get some help there with a first pitch swing and a first pitch out. And our rookie against rookie matchup as the 21-year-old Luis Matos climbs in. Youngest San Francisco Giant since Madison Bumgarner broke in 2009. Strike 1 for Miller. Signed to Venezuela in 2019. There was no minor league season the next year, of course. He hit above 300 in his first full pro year in 2021, and so became a big-time prospect. But then hit 211 last year. Barnes going to get him here. Who would have thought, hitting 211 in A-ball, that less than a year later he'd find himself in the major leagues?
Well, the way that he's done it, too, is like a lot of young hitters. I mean, super aggressive, can hit anything, and had to work on that chase, and he did, Joe. And that's one of the biggest things. Obviously, he chased a pitch there on a kind of a check swing, but really high talent.
Another first pitch swing and a fly ball to center field that backs up Johnny DeLuca. How about a full pitch second inning for Bobby Miller? No score, middle 2.
For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
All right, Kirsten, those Astros lost their 8th game out of their last 11 today. The mighty Cincinnati Reds nipping at the heels of the Pirates at the top of the Central with a 7th consecutive win. Here in Los Angeles, no scores. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Martinez, DeLuca, and Vargas coming up against Alex Wood. JD Martinez, for the first time in 2 years, starting the game in the outfield. He played a couple innings there last night, but he starts and left today.
He's going to have some fun out there. It's been a bit.
Usually the ball's supposed to find you, but nothing hit over there yet.
Nope.
He's had a pretty good view of a couple nice plays from his center fielder, DeLuca. The 1-2. Wood continues to get ahead after the 1-2-3 first inning. Alex Wood from Charlotte, North Carolina. 32 years old now. He's in his 11th year in the major leagues. He gets a chase from Martinez on a ball in the dirt and has his 2nd K.
The slider's working good. At least in this early innings, you know when you get a strikeout from Mookie Betts on it, and JD Martinez starts in the strike zone and bends way out of it.
One gone in the 2nd. Here's DeLuca. Solid defense so far. He takes upstairs for ball 1. Second pitch lays off, ball 2.
I was talking to Alex Wood before the game, and he was talking about how good he felt in April, the last time he faced the Dodgers. You mentioned the numbers and how good they were and how they haven't been over the course of his career. He said that just not being healthy from that point to now, 2 IL stints, and he wanted to get back for this weekend.
Schmidt, bare hand, throws, not in time. A couple rookies with outstanding tools that we got to see there. Schmidt's got a cannon of an arm, but Johnny DeLuca, the old high school sprinter, showed off his speed for an infield single.
Especially coming from the right side, getting down the line. Schmidt did everything he could, too. Barehanded it. Threw a missile down to first base, but no chance. The speed of DeLuca.
So the Dodgers at their first base runner of the game, and Miguel Vargas stands in, takes ball 1 from Wood. Vargas, one of his last 19. One ball, 1 strike. Been a lot of misses for him in this stretch on pitches like that, where it's like, when he's right, he doesn't miss middle fastballs.
I think he's been caught in between a lot, doing just that. Sitting a pitch, being aggressive, but missing it, and then taking. Thinking maybe it's a ball, something he doesn't want to hit. I think the hardest thing is just staying out of your head. We're seeing it with James Outman too. Saw him down in the cages before the game, just working off front toss, trying to get different angles, create different things. Hoping something will click. Off front tosses when they're like 12 feet from being in front of you. They're like basically throwing the ball at you instead of in front of you. So you have to fight it off with your hands.
Fly ball left field, Michael Conforto. And Vargas is out, number 2. Now a word from Angie.
Angie has the lineup you need to win big at home. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well.
Miguel Rojas is going through his best stretch as a Dodger. 3 consecutive 2-hit games for the Dodgers shortstop. And has showed off some speed too. Got a couple infield hits in there, and he's stolen a bag back-to-back games. Cracks the line drive to center field. Matos going back, gets there. Rojas squares it up and right at the center fielder, and no score after 2. Streak for rookie pitchers in franchise history. 18 consecutive scoreless innings for the righty, who faces Brandon Crawford to lead off the 3rd, and a curve for a strike. At a 4-pitch second inning after a 20-pitch first, which is finding that efficiency much faster than he found it in Philadelphia, and that he needed 48 pitches to go through the first 2 innings against the Phillies. And then he said he stopped trying to be too nasty. He just said, look, I got good stuff. I'm going to pound the zone with it. And was able to get through 6 innings in that game, about 13 pitches per inning from there. It's not taking him long to come to a place just where it usually takes guys much longer to say, I trust my stuff up here, try and hit it. Crawford does, off Miller. Pick up with a bare hand by Bush. His throw is late, and Crawford's got an infield hit.
Yeah, that's a lot to do with the mindset of Bobby Miller. I mean, I just loved, even after those first few starts and the success he had, when he was asked about it, he's like, yeah, no, this is what I expect of myself. I mean, he has a ton of confidence, and that one ricochets off the backside. And Bush tries all he can to get out Crawford. Go down as a hit.
Leadoff man on, and here is Casey Schmidt taking a strike. We were talking about Schmidt when he came off of the bench last night, the debut that he had coming up on May 9th when Crawford was injured, and getting 8 hits over his first 3 games. That hot start that he had, not just those first 3 games, but really his first few weeks, the number's still high. Here he goes, 5-4-3, and a double play.
Love it. This ball in on the hands, and it hits it right into the glove there. Michael Bush over to Miguel Vargas. Easy turn. Clears that leadoff single.
And so the base is empty for the top of the order and Lamont Wade, and it's another first pitch curve in there.
Lamont Wade Jr. just does not look comfortable against Bobby Miller. Bobby a couple times has really got inside off the plate. And usually the first thing you do is you start flying with that front side, and that's what you just saw in that last foul ball. Is you can tell Lamont Wade Jr. is like, get me out of here.
Going upstairs with an 0-2 and a fastball perfectly placed and taken by Wade. Struck out his first time. It's the 1K, first time through the order for Miller, who's back home with a 1-2. You know, it's interesting with Bobby Miller, among many other things, but first time through the order, opponents hit .232, which is not good. But after the first time through the order, opponents here are hitting .085.
Yeah.
It's backwards. Under the 1-2 pitch. Softly hit. Vargas. A 1-2-3 third on 11 pitches. Bobby Miller, another scoreless inning. Look out, Fernando. He's coming for you, big man. Your baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., where all your charbroiled burger wishes come true. No score, bottom 3. Michael Bush leads off against Alex Wood, who has pounded the strike zone here in his first game off of the injured list.
19 of the first 28. Aired 20. First 29, and a lot on the slider. It's been a go-to pitch, and he'll throw it to both sides of the plate too. So it'll front door these lefties, back door the righties.
Bush sends it in the air to center field. Matos turns and watches this ball hit off the wall. Michael Bush, a leadoff double. Left-hander against left-hander. Scorches that one off of the wall in center field.
Yeah, but I like the approach, Joe, because Michael Busch knew, okay, first of all, he's not going to blow it by me. He tops out 92-93, so I'm going to sit not just middle away, but also something soft, something that I can wait on, sit back, and drive. And he does just that. Deepest part of the field. Otherwise, this leaves the yard. Anywhere else in the yard. A nice leadoff double.
Well, Busch's first hit and this stint in the majors. In scoring position for Austin Barnes, who's knocked in a run in back-to-back starts. Well, those numbers, his last 27 games against the Giants, Barnes hitting .388.
Giant killer.
Yeah.
Max Muncy, who?
Right. One ball, two strikes. A matchup between good friends here, and Alex Wood and Austin Barnes. Woods 1-2 is just outside, ball two. Alex said at first it was really weird for him coming back here to LA and facing the Dodgers, especially the first year or so there where it was all former teammates. It's been enough turnover now where it's not necessarily top to bottom his old buddies. He gets one of them here though in Barnes for the first out of the third. And Alex, a very thoughtful, conscientious guy who you can understand him having that feeling when he faces his old team.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what he was telling us before the game was this was the series I wanted to get back for. I circled this. I understood. This is familiarity. He likes throwing to his old team.
Good strike one on Betts, who he struck out his first time. Betts has the longest active hitting streak in the National League at 10 games after a 2-for-5 game last night. He's got Busch at second as the Dodgers try to start the scoring here in the third. And an 0-1 from Wood. He takes it high. Strike two. Just foul.
Alex Wood's gotten close to a pitch timer violation a few times. He's gotten down to like 2 seconds, 1 second. You'll see him sometimes work really quick, catch the ball, go, and then other times, especially right now with a runner on.
A little quicker this time. Another 1-2 is inside the Betts. There have been a lot of times earlier in his career where he didn't need a pitch clock.
Yeah.
He'd be one of the guys that would go. His 2-2 is Chase for strike three. Got Betts with the changeup.
2 off speed now against Betts. First the slider to his back foot. Now the changeup. You see Betts try to reach. He was just trying to foul that thing off.
Fourth K for Alex Wood already. Now here's Freddie Freeman, lined out to center field his first time. Dodgers trying to take advantage of the leadoff double from Busch. First one from Wood is cracked down the line foul. And the Dodgers have had a 4-run inning, 4 straight games. Outside of those 4-run innings, though, 3 runs total. one hit him. And so first and second for Will Smith.
I think he slips right off the cheek.
Hey, if you're going to get hit, take it on a slider, take it there. Smith grounded to third his first time. No wait as Patrick Bailey goes out to talk with Alex Wood. Always interesting the dynamic between a veteran pitcher and a catcher who was born yesterday, relatively speaking. You know, got to the majors a few weeks ago. The gumption to go out there and talk, even if it's a strategic thing, talking about how they're going to handle anything on the bases. But yeah, just having the whatever it is that you've got to have as a young catcher to go out there with an older pitcher.
There's been a lot of trust too from the starting rotation in Patrick Bailey. In fact, Logan Webb, who's starting tomorrow, Anthony DeScalfini, both of them call their own game and have turned that over to Patrick Bailey. We see Alex Wood's been on the IL, but Patrick said that that's what they're working on right now. Is letting Patrick Bailey call the game, and you're seeing a lot of shake-off, kind of some back and forth, the timeout that was just called. But to be such a young catcher and to get two veterans in Webb, and DeScalfini to be able to trust him is huge.
He's been training for this since he was like 10 years old. His family happened to live just down the street from a baseball training facility, and by the time Patrick was 10 years old, he was at that facility almost every day. By the time he was 13, they had him catching college pitchers that were home for summer break, throwing their bullpens, and he got this kid catching. Like, who's this kid? How did he get so good so quickly?
Yeah, thrown into the fire, 13 years old. Catching the big dudes, but I think more importantly, understanding, the instincts, right? Like seeing where a batter gets in the box. Where is he missing? What is my pitcher feeling right now? That's the stuff that you just over time start to understand.
Another precocious catcher at the plate here. 2 on and 2 out in a scoreless game in the third. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Will Smith. Wood comes back home, and Smith pops it up. Shallow center field. Thairo Estrada waits on it, and the Dodgers unable to take advantage of a leadoff double from Bush.
A group of players, including Mookie Betts and Shelby Miller, spent an off day testing their own golf skills. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers Friday. How's your golf game these days?
Non-existent.
That looks awful, by the way.
Yeah, wow. Where are they playing? Alaska? Scoreless game here in perfectly sunny LA. Bobby Miller goes back to work. 2, 3, and 4 for the Giants coming up. Jock Peterson, who drew a walk his first time. Miller comes home, and Peterson takes curveball down and away. He started several hitters with curveballs. Still not giving up a hit on that pitch this year. Got a chase and a high fastball. Jock is liable to go up there after him. He's also prone to connect with him and send him a long way. Seen him home run pitches above the letters. Nasty change. 1 and 2.
Watch the run on this. Just move away from the bat after 100 miles an hour that Peterson tried to hit the 5 freeway.
Another change up. This one fouled off. Miller to Peterson, another 1-2, and it's pulled foul. Like an extra hard slider, like a cutter.
Yeah, I was just going to say that was kind of basically between a slider and a cutter.
2-2.
I wouldn't put it past him to throw a new pitch in there.
Well, he tweaked his grip on his slider 2 starts ago before he faced the Yankees and started throwing it harder so it could mirror his fastball better. But 95, that's well above even the harder version of the slider.
Yeah, no, it looked closer to a fastball, but like a cut fastball, to be honest.
Another 2-2. Goes back to the changeup. Peterson stays alive.
And watch how he's setting up the off speed too, because you talked about it, Joe, and everyone gets excited about the fastball, but look at how he's come inside with 100 to set up everything else.
Into shallow right center field. Betts can't get there. Jock Peterson on the 8th pitch of the at-bat bloops a single into right. And he's been on both times.
He gets jammed on a slider that right on the hands. Watch Mookie Betts. He thinks about leaving his feet. See how he thought about it there for a second, which is insane. The ground that he knows that he's possible of covering. You're still 6 feet away from that.
Leadoff man aboard. Thairo Estrada up, raking the first pitch foul. Grounded out his first time. 1 for 5 in these 2 games. So Bobby Miller started the season with the shoulder issue. He missed a lot of spring training as he was dealing with it. Didn't debut until a few weeks into the year in AAA. And then 4 starts in AAA, and it's a hitter's league, but still, he had a .565 ERA. And he said, I can't really put my finger on why it would be that I'd have a .565 in AAA, show up and do what I've done here. But said if he had to guess, maybe that the game planning's a little bit more advanced. He said certainly the adrenaline is higher. More people in the stands. Said I'm probably locked in a little bit more. And Dave Roberts made the point that so much of Bobby Miller's time coming up through the minors was about development, as it is for just about any player. But he's finally gotten to the place where you're not talking development anymore. You're here to compete and win games, and he's thrived with that simple mindset shift. His 1-2 to Estrada is down and in. The count evens 2-2.
Yeah, we'll shut it down and just throw as far as the brain and let the body do the work. And he does a really good job of that. I think also the sequencing. I think, you know, right now Austin Barnes, but Will Smith, they do a tremendous job of pitch calling, understanding how to set up his best pitches.
Strikes him out. Disappearing curveball to get Estrada.
He hasn't been predictable. I mean, here he comes back with the curveball. We've seen the slider and the changeup. We know all about the fastball, but how about this beauty? Hello, Thairo Estrada is sitting there 100 miles an hour, and then you throw this baby in there 20 miles an hour less? No.
Second K for Miller, 1 gone in the 4th. Here's Michael Conforto, who pops the first pitch off the hands foul.
But being more predictable for a hitter, 2 strikes, you might think this is the slider count. This is when he's going to throw that pitch. And instead, he went with another breaking ball. That's where I give the Dodgers at this level a ton of credit, is that sequencing that you're seeing for Bobby Miller right now.
I think we saw it right from his first inning or 2 in the major leagues, where it was very heavy fastball that first inning against the Braves, and they were on it. And then he followed Will Smith's lead, adjusted, and threw the other stuff as that game went on. And it's just been a continuation of that since. It's another curveball, throwing that more than usual today. Barnes is hitting every button. Now it takes time. Now a word from Morongo.
Latin Sundays, live music and dancing at the sideline stage.
0-2. Got him. Everything working. The changeup runs away and gets a swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks.
Especially after the leadoff single, nowhere to go for Jock Peterson. Back-to-back strikeouts, one on the curveball, and this changeup that starts in the zone, runs away from the zone.
So back-to-back Ks after the leadoff hit from Peterson. Mike Yastrzemski with 2 away. Takes changeup. 1 ball, no strikes.
Working both sides of the plate, especially these lefties right now. Bobby Miller not afraid to get inside with the fastball. So there's no leaning, and then he works his off speed away. Seen it with the curveball, we've seen it with the changeup to these lefties. But I really like how he's getting in there with the fastball.
Pop up left side of the infield. Miguel Rojas and Michael Busch. It's Michael Busch, and it is 4 scoreless innings for Bobby Miller.
And scan the QR to vote daily and decide who represents your Dodgers this summer.
The guy leading off this inning, JD Martinez, the leading vote getter for DHs in the National League. He takes strike 1 from Alex Wood. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time, 1 for his last 18. Last couple days just hasn't quite looked himself. Oh, 0-2. Makes some jump rope. 1 ball, 2 strikes. From 0-2 to 2-2. Matos still going back. That thing carried well. And Matos caught it on the warning track for the first out of the 4th. Brings up Johnny DeLuca, and we go down to Kirsten Watson.
Well, Joe, Johnny DeLuca, it's covered right now, but he actually has a piercing in his left ear, and this was a deal he made with the hitting coach last year at Great Lakes. He was struggling, so he made a deal that if he didn't get Player of the Week, that he would get the piercing. He actually did not get it, got the piercing, ended up getting Player of the Week for 2 straight weeks, so the piercing is staying, guys.
Grounds the first one that he sees here to Brandon Crawford. Yeah, got called up to Double-A soon after that. He's just kept on hitting. Unstoppable since getting that left ear pierced. Went to a Claire's at the mall in Michigan. Oh, yeah.
No.
I mean, where else would you go? Two away for Vargas.
Where else would you go? Oh.
Are there like safer or more specialized places to go for that?
Claire's is amazing, I'm sure. It's been a bit since I've.
So pick up a friendship bracelet while you're in there.
The like heart. Each initial. Broken heart. Oh man.
Vargas in the left where Conforto waits, puts it away. Dodgers down quickly in the 4th. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Bobby Miller, 4 more scoreless innings. He's run his scoreless inning streak up to 20 here in his rookie campaign. And overall, 27 innings in the big leagues, and he's given up 2 runs.
Doing it a little bit differently, too, each night. Tonight, actually throwing the curveball a little more, you mentioned, and also the 4-seam more than he has. Already thrown 15 4-seamers. He only threw 14 total his previous 3 starts.
Luis Matos leading off this 5th for the Giants and taking ball 2. He's a guy who, when we talk about he gets to the major leagues and thriving in that it's no longer development, it's all about winning now. But you say that, and then you talk about the way that he's continuing to adjust and the little tweaks that he's continuing to make. We mentioned he changed his grip on his slider. He starts his big league career 1-0 with a sub-1 ERA, and then he fixes his slider. And this is something that they talked about the entire time that he was coming up, that he's just always looked for edges, obsessed with improving, and that hasn't stopped since he's gotten here. This 2-0 to Matos is a curve that's taken for ball 3.
It's that beautiful combination of confidence and humility, because you have to have both. And he definitely believes in his stuff. He knows how good he is, but he understands that, and is humble enough to say, but I can be better. You don't always get both. You get a lot of one and not the other, especially in the major leagues.
3-1 to Matos. Backs him off of the plate. Ball 4, leadoff walk. Yeah, Matos aboard. He can really run, by the way.
Number 14, Patrick Bailey.
Second walk issued by Miller. And up comes another rookie in Patrick Bailey. Well, it's the 3rd straight inning the Giants have had the leadoff man on. They couldn't advance him the last 2. Back-to-back Ks after the leadoff single last inning. Quick double play after the leadoff single in the 2nd. Bailey fouls off the first pitch. Now back to the topic of Bobby always improving. When he's at Louisville through 2 years, he was good and projectable, right? He's got that big frame and he threw hard, but he wasn't a first-round talent to anybody. He throws a great change up there to get ahead of 1-2, and then he shows up in 2020. And it's like, whoa, okay, this is a different guy. But he only had 4 starts to show it. Now, had he had a full season in that 2020 year before it got shut down, the Dodgers don't think they would have gotten it. Runner takes off. Barnes throws to second, not in time, and a stolen base for Luis Matos.
Because he dropped.
To 29. If he had a full season of showing off the changes he had made, he's going before the Dodgers have a chance to take him.
Good job. Jump there from Matos. You mentioned the speed. You almost felt like he was going to go first or second pitch. He does. Yeah, no, it was a blessing. It was definitely a blessing for the Dodgers. Remember that draft.
Bailey down on strikes, 100 with the fastball there.
Because it was like that for everybody, Joe. I mean, there were so many guys that were unknowns, having to rely a lot of times on numbers, different things, and see 100 at the top of the zone. Another strikeout.
Good things to come out of COVID. Working from home and Bobby Miller falling to the Dodgers. One gone for Crawford. Look out. He goes off Matos into center field.
Total miscommunication. Rojas was not ready for that throw. Wasn't even near the bag.
Matos at third. The infield comes in. Miller's first one to Crawford is a changeup for a strike. Continuing his unpredictable pattern.
Well, an unpredictable location. When you throw a changeup to lefties, a lot of times, and we've seen it, it runs away. And this one right on the inside part of the plate.
Muscled into right field, base hit Brandon Crawford to give the Giants the first run of the night. So they take advantage of the leadoff walk. A walk, a stolen base, a throwing error, and a base hit from Crawford makes it 1-0 Giants.
Right off the hands. We've seen Brandon Crawford get 2 hits in this one. Both weak contact. This one advantaged infield pulled in.
Casey Schmidt, the 9-hitter, grounds the first pitch foul. And so the scoreless inning streak ends at 20 for Miller. And you can see him working his best to harness the emotions he has here, the frustrations that build from the walk and then the air, and feeling like he probably made a good pitch there to Crawford that gets muscled in for a hit.
That's what's crazy is that's the inning that's going to end the streak.
This is something that Bobby's worked hard at getting better at. He said if he didn't get better at harnessing his emotions, it probably was going to be something that ruined his career. This one hit Schmidt. Times early on in his pro career, back into his college career, one bad thing would snowball into another. And so he's had to work on his breathing and stepping off of the mound, taking a moment to himself where the pitch clock allows. And when things start to go sideways, making sure they don't completely go off the rails. It's getting tested in that regard here. Running the bank, 2 runners aboard, and the top of the order coming up with Wade. First pitch curve, golf down the line. That ball's gone. Lamont Wade was ready for a first pitch curveball and hammers it out of here to make it 4-0 San Francisco.
He jumped on him early. He didn't look comfortable his first 2 at bats. A lot of that was because of the fastball coming way up and in. And this one, he sits soft, he gets soft. 80 miles an hour, 400 feet.
Fastball for a strike on Peterson. Well, he had snuck that first pitch curveball by several hitters today, and you figured that somebody at some point was going to sit first pitch curve, and very clearly Lamont Wade was. Peterson with a line drive to right, Mookie Betts. And they retire Peterson for the first time today. Well, 2 innings allowed over his, or 2 runs allowed over his first 27 innings in the majors, and then 4 runs here in the 5th inning alone. Against one of the hottest offenses in baseball. Thairo Estrada with 2 away, shoots the first one down the line towards the corner. That'll nestle in for a base hit. And a double for Estrada.
They're starting to attack him early. This one's just reaction. Pitch, he inside outs, finds that corner down in right field.
Giants up 4-0. Michael Conforto to the plate after the visit from Mark Pryor. Changeup takes the sting out of it. Roller to first, and Freeman to Miller to finish off the top of the 5th. Halfway home, and the Giants with a 4 spot, 4-0.
Night Hawaiian shirt. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
All right, Kirsten, as Miguel Rojas leads off this 5th for the Dodgers and takes a strike from Alex Wood. They're going to try and flip the script from last night where the Dodgers got 4 runs in the 5th inning and the Giants came back to win. Rojas gets under this ball and shuttle left field. It's Crawford. And one shortstop retires the other.
It's definitely an offense capable of doing that. And we've seen them carry this entire team throughout much of the season. Michael Busch had a double in his last event. off a changeup from Wood. At the bottom of this order to turn over to back to Betts and Freeman.
It's one of the 2 hits for the Dodgers. The only one that left the infield. The other hit was a Johnny DeLuca infield single. Bush crushed his ball. It's only the 4th hit that Alex Wood's given up to a lefty this year. 0-2.
He's such a tough look, and he doesn't bring a lot of velocity, but he's got effective velocity because his back is facing you when he pitches. Hides the ball for so long. That's what he relies a ton on, is that funky delivery.
Same funky delivery he's always had back into his high school days in Charlotte, where it was so funky that nobody wanted to touch him when it came to college ball. They thought, yeah, okay, maybe there's some deception there, but that's weird. And it doesn't look sustainable.
That's weird.
So Alex had to hop on his computer and put together an email that he blasted off to 30-some college programs just begging for an opportunity. One just misses, and it goes to 1-2. One of the only places that responded was Georgia. And their coach said, yeah, it was an odd-looking delivery. We didn't know if he could stay healthy like that, but he just was this bulldog on the mound. And we gave him a shot.
No pun intended?
Yeah, no pun intended. Michael Busch, 2 for 2. And how about that? Left-handers against Alex Wood coming into the game, 3 for 26 this year. Busch is 2 for 2.
This is a bulldog type of bat, too. I mean, just battling off a bunch of different pitches, and this is what makes it so hard. You see the ball running away from him. We talk about the delivery, the deception, so it's a hard look for a left-handed batter, but Michael Busch showing he can hit just about anything Wood's throwing tonight.
Tar Heel gets the bulldog.
Yeah, here we go.
So now Barnes. Bouncing ball to third for Schmidt. Goes to second one. Is Estrada to first. That's 2. That's the inning. After 5, San Francisco 4. The Dodgers nothing. On Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Good times. Great crowd here at Dodger Stadium on this Saturday night. The rival Giants in town. Giants took the first game 7-5 in 11 innings last night. They lead this one 4-0 as Mike Yastrzemski fouls off Bobby Miller's first pitch. All 4 of those runs coming in the 5th inning. Yastrzemski was the only guy that didn't bat. 8 men came to the plate against Miller.
He has cooled off quite a bit. He's on that tear, at least home run tear, last week coming into the series. Game tying home run with a strike left. Had a lot of miss the last 2 games though.
Alex Wood's got the hoodie on. Looks like he might be finished. This is how the Giants operate.
They like their bullpen.
Yeah, as they should.
2 different stories of both these teams, especially over the course of the last month. And what they got from Wood tonight is all they've really needed to win games.
3-1 pitch. Yastrzemski fouls it off. The Giants 20-9 over the last month plus. And the bullpen, the biggest reason why. It's Luke Jackson tying his shoe.
I need to go to Velcro.
Another 3-2 pitch. And Yastrzemski takes the walk. That's 4th straight inning. The Giants put the leadoff man on. And now word from Carl's Jr.
Famous Star Burger. Tonight, my rewards members get exclusive offers on the Carl's Jr. app.
Here's Matos. Chases, strike 1. Slider to the corner, and it's 0-2. Ground ball left side, diving stop by Rojas. Throw to second, not in time. Infield hit for Luis Matos.
We've seen Miguel Rojas, I mean, get to some balls and make some terrific plays. I mean, just the fact that he knocks this down and tries off his backside, too, to get it over to Vargas. Nothing else he could do.
Any question about what Miguel Rojas' standard is for himself? Seeing the reaction on that play.
Yeah. He's been nails at short.
First two aboard for the Giants. A ball on Bailey. Best defensive shortstop the Dodgers have had in a long time. Man, boy, he is still stewing over not getting to that ball.
I saw it like pop out of the glove, but even then he got to it so quick. In his head, though, he's probably going over any scenario where he still could have gotten the runner out.
One of the big adjustments he's had to make this year, as you see Alex Vesia begin to warm, is Miguel played deeper on average than any shortstop in baseball. And so his normal starting point was a step onto the grass, which is now illegal. With the shift restrictions, you got to start on the dirt. And that changes all the angles. That's not just it's harder to go back and make plays on bloopers. It changes everything. In the air to right field for Mookie Betts. And Patrick Bailey's 0 for 3. One gone in the sixth.
Shortstop, Brandon Crawford.
So the breakdown of pitches by inning, the first inning, and this has kind of been the story for Bobby Miller, even though he gave up the runs in the fifth. Tends to have longer first innings.
First and second for Crawford, who gets his bat on this one into center field. DeLuca has to play it on a bounce. It was read wonderfully by Yastrzemski, who comes in to score. Back-to-back innings with RBI singles for Brandon Crawford. 5-0 Giants.
What Mike Yastrzemski sees on this is really the read by Johnny DeLuca. Watch his first step. He goes back. You see how initially he read it as over his head, and because of that, Yastrzemski saw it immediately and said, there's no chance you're catching this. I'm not positive he would have caught it, but if he reacted the right way, it would have been a lot closer, and there's no way that Yaz gets the jumps that he got.
Brandon Crawford 3 for 3. First and second for Schmidt out of the 9 spot. And he jumps on the first one. He yanks it foul.
3 for 3 for Crawford, but all weaker contact.
Yeah.
Everything's been kind of just on the hands, off the end, but contact. And that shows you put the ball in play.
Oh, 0-2. Probably going to be Bobby Miller's last hitter, with Wade and Peterson due up, and Wade having taken him deep last time. Although you figure that you bring in Vesia, you're probably going to get Austin Slater. Miller fires 1-2 and strikes him out with a changeup. Strikeout number 5 for Miller. 2 gone in the 6th. And Dave Roberts will make that move. So Alex Vesia comes on with the top of the order coming up. Scoreless innings to begin the outing, but then the Giants get him for 4 runs in the 5th, 1 run in the 6th, and really the first blip on this big league radar for the rookie. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out. Alex Vesia comes on with the left-handed hitters coming up. And instead of a counter move, instead of Austin Slater coming up to bat, Lamont Wade will hit for himself against Vesia. And he is the producer of our Miller moment. 3-run home run. His last time up.
Crushed Bobby Miller on a curveball that he was sitting on. Big reason why he's staying in this game. Big reason why Bobby Miller's out of this game.
For Wade, his 9th home run this season. He really, in his time with the Giants, has unveiled power that nobody saw coming. 42 games with the Twins before they got him. He hit 2 home runs. His career high in a season in the minors was 11. First season with the Giants, hit 12 in his first 50 games and finished with 18 of them. Ahead 2-1. Last year, a bit of a throwaway, just given the knee issues that he was having for a lot of the year. And that's an extra big deal for him, considering his stance, where he really likes to sit down into his legs, generate so much from that lower body. But feeling good and playing good again this year.
He's choking up too, even before he got to 2 strikes, a little bit against the lefty in Vesia. Part of that has been his approach to try to kind of go middle opposite field, follow the pitch path, but that last one came inside, kind of caught him off guard.
On a 2-2 from Vesia, Wade takes just outside. Really good pitch there.
Oh, that was a perfect pitch. I think it clipped the edge of the plate, maybe seam. I don't know, because I wanted it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Only one person's opinion matters, though.
Yeah.
Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire tonight. The payoff pitch, runners go, and a pop foul. J.D. Davis, yet to see him in this series. Rolled his ankle on Tuesday in St. Louis and is going to avoid an IL stint. Another payoff pitch, another foul ball. By the way, Bobby Miller struck out Casey Schmidt, and that was the 5th K for Miller. 5 more for the Dodgers. Everybody gets free jumbo jack. They're facing a team that strikes out more than any. 8th pitch from Vesia to Wade with 2 on and 2 out here in the 6th. Taken high to load the bases.
Hitter number 7, J.D. Davis.
Davis announced as the pinch hitter for Jock Peterson. He has thrived since coming over from the New York Mets. Really has gotten back to what he was doing his first couple years with the Mets. Diminished by injuries the last couple seasons. Injured his hand, had to have surgery. Took him some time before it really felt right from that. Very aggressive first pitch. Goes after this one, hits it a ton, straightaway center. DeLuca watches a grand slam, 9-0 San Francisco. A pinch hit grand slam for J.D. Davis. First pitch that he sees breaks this game wide open.
Hasn't played in almost a week. This is the first pitch he sees. Sitting fastball, gets one away, and J.D. Davis was hot before he was hurt the last few games. Hitting close to 400 and a lot of this. A lot of pop, a lot of slug.
Strike 1 on Estrada. Giants have followed the 4-run 5th with a 5-run 6th. closed on Miller. 4 scoreless innings to open, and then 7 runs all told. So 2 runs over his first 4 starts, 7 runs here against the Giants. And then 2 of these charged to Vesia, who's 1-2 to Estrada. Is popped to the left side of the infield. Rojas will put it away and end the 6th, but the Giants get 5. A grand slam from J.D. Davis, and it's 9-0. Inside the box score brought to you by your Lexus dealers. Alex Wood, 5 scoreless innings in his return from the injured list. And against the Dodgers this year, 2 games, 9 2/3, no runs.
His 2 best starts of the year have come against the Dodgers. And now Tristan Beck takes the mound. ERA 3.73. Well, it's been a stellar bullpen. Got the numbers over the course of the last month, and the fact that their starters have not had to give them length. They have had so much trust in their arms, and Beck gets the first one to go here in the 6th.
Beck, one of the 8 Giants that has debuted here in 2023. 26-year-old from Corona, California, went to Corona High School and then to Stanford. Faces the top of the Dodge order. Mookie Betts fouls off his first pitch heater. Got drafted out of there by the Atlanta Braves. Just shy of his 27th birthday, he's made it to the major leagues, and part of this Giants bullpen that has been the best in baseball the last month. Floater off the end of the bat that'll begin this inning. A hit for Betts to extend his streak to 11 games.
Yeah, I don't think anyone happier to see Alex Wood exit this game. He had 2 strikeouts, 2 different pitches against him, and here he just pokes one out to center field off the end of the bat.
First time Dodgers have put the leadoff man on. Here's Freddie Freeman. First one's high from Beck. Ball and a strike. We just saw Mookie extend his hitting streak to 11 games. It's the longest active hitting streak in the National League. The longest active hitting streak period is Shohei Ohtani, who extended his hitting streak to 14 games today.
With what?
His 8th home run in those 14 games.
Make it 23 on the season. It's the most you're going to find in baseball right now.
Angels, who the Dodgers will see this week, blew an 8-2 lead today against the Kansas City Royals to lose 10-9, but even with that, they've won 10 of their last 13. Hit hard, base hit right field. Back-to-back hits for Betts and Freeman to open the 6th.
Smoked 104 miles an hour. Crushed down the right field line.
Smith, after reaching 4 times last night, 0 for 2 in this one. Ball 1 from Beck. Two and 0. Padres beat the Rays earlier. Blake Snell against his old team. 6 innings, 12 Ks. 2-0 final score. 2 balls, 1 strike on Smith. Padres are going to make a run at some point, right? Like,
they're definitely going to go through a hot stretch, and that team is too talented not to. But it's been a shock to see where they're at in the division, and honestly where the Giants are right now. Diamondbacks, I felt like you kind of felt it coming, maybe not leading the entire division, but definitely how good their young talent was. Corbin Carroll. Not just rookie of the year, but he could win the MVP, and that's how good he's been.
He might be the leading candidate at this point. I know Acuna is the easy answer, but Carroll leads the American League in OPS, or leads the National League in OPS. Taken for ball 4. And never mind. First base umpire David Rackley on the appeal says that he went around. Smith had already discarded the bat, was making his way down there. Instead, strike 3.
Left field, J.D. Martinez.
I don't know, David. Off the top of the zone, strike 1 on J.D. Martinez. Carroll's D-backs, by the way, down 1-0 against the Guardians, third inning in Phoenix. Dodgers 3 back. San Francisco 4.5 back. Just 1.5 back of LA, though. Giants have won 5 straight. They've won 20 of 29. Yeah, the Giants started this season. They were 6-13. They're 11-17 one day into the month of May. And it looked like forget about it. But this influx of rookies coming up. Bullpen hitting its stride. And they have taken off. 6-4-3 double play going to finish off this 6th inning. On to the 7th.
Celebrate Independence Day when the Dodgers take on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and stay after the game for a fireworks show presented by California Pizza Kitchen. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/tickets.
All right, Kirsten, James Outman into the game in center field. DeLuca will slide over to right. Mookie Betts gets off his feet in this 9-0 game. So does Freddie Freeman, because Jason Hayward is now at first base. Michael Conforto takes ball 1 from Nick Robertson, who's on to pitch this 7th. Kirsten was talking about the Pirates, who come in here in early July. Pirates a game below 500, within a game and a half of first place. It's a good play by Vargas, but it tests Hayward, who can't dig it out. Conforto's on. National League Central, you've got the Brewers, the Reds, the Pirates, and the Cubs, all within 3 games. Cubs are 33-37, 3 games back.
Pretty much the story of the Centrals, AL and NL. I mean, it's been some ugly baseball. The fact that, too, the Cardinals, I mean, we've talked a lot about surprise teams on the good side, but the Cardinals, being on the back end of the Central, all the expectations coming into this year.
Worst record in the National League.
It's bad.
28-43.
With the Pirates off to the start that they originally had, I know they've come back down to earth since then, but
Nothing and 2 on Yastrzemski. Who do you think wins the Central?
I mean, I like the Brewers, and I think a lot because of how they're always going to pitch, but they were hitting, especially to start the season. Look at a lot of their hitters, and it wasn't Christian Yelich. It wasn't the guys that I think they normally lean on.
Yastrzemski down on strikes, 1 away.
But, I mean, we all do our picks and everything in the beginning of the year, and you vote. And I mean, I had the Cardinals like up there.
Most did.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they can't go on a run. You get to a certain point in the season, though, when it's like, okay, when's it too late? The Cardinals are getting close to that.
Blake Sable pinch running for Michael Conforto. And the ramifications for the trade deadline are great, as in significant, with the two Central divisions, because you got teams in both those divisions that aren't going to know if they're selling or holding pat or even buying until the last 24 hours. You look at the White Sox, who are just in here.
Yeah.
They hold the proverbial keys at the deadline. They're 10 games below 500, but within 5.5 of first place. Bouncing ball that stays fair. Bush, a long throw, and Hayward had to try it again. It's tough for Jason, who's played very little first base in his career and has had 2 balls in the dirt to greet him.
Yeah, you got to help him out a little bit. And these are balls, obviously, that you get more time and experience, and this is an easier hop. Coming from outfield.
You know, when I say very little, I mean 5 innings in 11 years. Strike 1 on Patrick Bailey. Once some time passes, his good buddy Freddie can say, well, see, it ain't that easy.
Oh, he's saying it tonight. As close as those guys are. In fact, I bet Freddie's just kind of like secretly smiling way inside. Just, oh man, I've got him now for at least 10 years.
Kirsten, what did Dave Roberts say about Jason Hayward playing first?
Yeah, well, look, as much as Jason doesn't have as much experience at first base, when Dave approached him about the idea, Jason was all ears, and he said he will do whatever it takes to help this team win. If that means stepping in at first base to give Freddie some time down, or even just if there's an injury that comes up, whatever the need be, he said that he was willing to do it because he wants to help this team in any way possible, guys.
He certainly passes the first base eye test, that frame. Long, strong first baseman over there.
Lefty.
That too. Two is lined into center field, base hit that makes its way to the gap in right center. Double digits for the Giants. A 2-run double for Patrick Bailey, and it's 11-0.
Bailey reaches out and gets this one. This pitch was running away. Finds the gap, splits it.
First hit of this series for Bailey. And now Crawford, who's got 3 hits tonight. Third 3-hit game of the year for the veteran shortstop. Doesn't have a 4-hit game yet. He fouls off first pitch from Robertson. Brandon's done some amazing things in his career. Grand slam in his very first game. Had another grand slam that won a playoff game. Talk about him having 3 hits tonight. He's got a game where he had 7 hits. He had a game where he had 8 RBIs. And like we talked about last night, he's played in more games than any shortstop in franchise history. Most significantly, he's won a couple World Series. He's got a 4-hit game tonight, his first one of the season. Up to third goes Bailey. The legacy locked as a Giant great, Brandon Crawford.
He's having fun tonight. Saw him smiling when he got over there. His 3rd hit. This is the hardest one that he's hit, Joe, because the first 3 were kind of soft contact, finding their way. He was kind of laughing like, hey, things are going my way now. It's more of a legit one.
And the guy that he eventually is probably going to hand the keys to at shortstop, Casey Schmidt, 0 for 2 today. Somebody that Crawford has compared his defense to Nolan Arenado. And that's who Casey Schmidt said he grew up trying to be like. Arenado and Evan Longoria were his guys growing up in Southern California. Went to San Diego State. Had a good career there, but then he goes to the Cape Cod League and stars. Championship game, he hits 2 home runs and he gets the save as the pitcher. You do things like that in the Cod, in the Cape, you're gonna jump onto all kinds of teams' lists. Down quickly here. Robertson with a strikeout, 2 gone in the 7th. Back to the top and Wade. 3-run homer in the 5th, walk and a run scored in the 6th. And to left center field, base hit, another run is in. Bailey scores and it's 12-0. Time for the T-Mobile coverage cam. In a game full of big swings for the Giants, none bigger than J.D. Davis. A pinch hit grand slam on the first pitch that he saw from Alex Vesia.
Comes in off the bench and just knew exactly what. It's always impressive to me when a player takes, you know, even 4, 5, 6 days off, comes and does something like that. He was red hot going into that. The Giants, big reason they did not want to put him on the IL, make sure that he was still getting at bats even if he wasn't 100%.
10th homer, 6th coming on the first pitch. That'll do it for the Giants in the 7th, but they get 3 more. The Nissan calendar, one more game in this series. Logan Webb and Tony Gonsolin on Father's Day Sunday. And then it's down to Anaheim for a 2-game series with the Angels. Tristan Beck stays in, comes home to Johnny DeLuca with ball 1. That is Casey Schmidt, who's now at short. David Villar coming into the game to play third. And he saw Blake Sable pinch run for Michael Conforto. He stays in, straight up change there. He's in left. Well, and a 12-0 game feels like a good time to tell you that this is the anniversary of a guy named Kurt Welch. Back in the 1890s, getting thrown in jail for taking out the second baseman on a double play ball.
Thrown in jail.
Thrown in jail.
Because the law was.
Well, because the people in town weren't going to let him out of town. They were so mad that they took out the guy's second baseman, the team's second baseman, that it was almost a protective measure to get him in jail, get him away from the angry townspeople. But yeah, Kurt Welch. 2-2 to DeLuca. Check swing foul.
What year was that?
1887.
Yeah, so I'm the jail in quotes that I'm picturing.
Oh yeah. Holding the bars.
Totally. Like little dirt devils and dusty road.
Bouncing ball to third. David Villar, fresh into the game, makes the play. One gone in the seventh. Here's Miguel Vargas. One of his last 21 with his 0 for 2. Fly ball right center. Yastrzemski is there. And Brian Hudson getting set for what would be his big league debut. Another day, another debut.
Right? Like everyone coming in. State of Oklahoma, between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Kirsten's got a lot more too. I always love hearing about the family and the path and the call. No matter the score, it's still a special moment.
Little knuckling skipper to short, picked up by Schmidt, and a 1-2-3 7th inning for Tristan Beck. Welcome to the major leagues, Brian Hudson, 26 years old, from Alton, Illinois. Originally a third-round draft pick of the Chicago Cubs. He was a starter in their system and struggled. And then the cancellation of the 2020 season, converts to the bullpen, has more success there. But the Cubs cut him loose before he makes it to the majors, signs a minor league contract with the Dodgers this offseason. And here he is, fulfilling his dream, making it to the big leagues. We go down to Kirsten Watson.
Well, Joe, for Brian, it has been a whirlwind of a 24 hours. Yesterday, he was in OKC. He was celebrating being with that team as the Pacific Coast League first half champions. 1:30 a.m. he gets the call that he is getting called up to the big leagues. He called his mom, Nicole, all their family. They flew in, got here this morning. So Brian got in about 8 a.m. He said he's running off about an hour of sleep. Nicole and the family upstairs, they got in about 10 a.m. and they said the same thing. It was all hands on deck. Get to LA to see this debut.
And all worth it, I'm sure. First man that he faces is Thairo Estrada. One ball, one strike. 6'8", 220. Kirsten found out earlier that he was a two-sport guy in high school, was a good basketball player. Wouldn't think there are too many kids around Alton, Illinois that could guard a 6'8".
No.
Brian Hudson. Small town in southern Illinois, not too far from St. Louis. Hudson home 1-2. Estrada punches a bouncing ball to first for Jason Hayward, who feeds Hudson, beating him to the bag.
That's where the long legs come in, Joe. That's just the length. Oh, that is a nervous mom already. Get after it, though. Hustle to get that out.
Hudson was pitching really well for OKC at a 2.17 ERA. 25 games there. They're using him a bunch. He was pitching very well. 4-0 record. How about a strikeout rate of almost 16 per 9 innings? Blake Sable, strike one from Hudson.
He's got that fastball. It sits like 90, 93, but it looks, one of the hitters that have talked about facing him, 98, 99. A lot of limbs coming at you. He hides the ball for a long time. When you think about plant foot, 6'8". I mean, that's one of the biggest things too. When he's at release, when that ball is coming at you, a lot closer. He gets out there.
Strike two. Seeing a lot of these guys come up and get chances, and the cool thing for them is that it's got to feel like more than just a chance to plug a hole or be a Band-Aid. There are jobs to be had with this bullpen struggling the way that it is. On 3 pitches, he strikes out Sable.
What a beautiful time to be able to get into this game, too. And not a big leverage, down by 12, get an opportunity to just relax. Have your family and friends.
He's retired the first 2. Now faces Yastrzemski, who slashes the first pitch foul.
Yeah, you see how late Yaz is on 91, Joe. And that just tells you how hard it is to read. Harder for a lefty. Because how he hides it, he already starts kind of angled between home and first. You see him kind of move that front foot over. So now you can't even see anywhere where the ball is.
Ground ball to second for Vargas. Brian Hudson with a 1-2-3 inning in his big league debut. After the game, tune in for Access Sportsnet Dodgers. John and Jerry and Oral.
Hey, guys. Do you think they're actually talking or just moving their mouths?
Both. Ball on Michael Busch. Giants 4 runs in the 5th, 5 runs in the 6th, 3 runs in the 7th. But a good night for Michael Busch. One of the bright spots in this one for LA. He's gone 2 for 2. Fly the other way for Sable.
Seen some funky reads from the Giants outfielders, but making up for it. Sable went in on that. Fresh into the game last inning.
One gone in the 8th for Barnes. Strikeout and a double play ground out tonight. Ball, 1 strike. That's ball 3 on Barnes. Takes the walk.
The biggest thing right now for the Dodgers is just eliminating the shutout, figuring out a way to get on the board. James Outman getting his first at bat of this game. Joe, I was with him before the game, and I was telling you about that off front toss. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but in my head it does, because we used to do it all the time. But he did it super extreme, where he had it being thrown to him almost, if you could imagine, coming from third base instead of the pitcher's mound.
Kind of like that pitch on his hands.
Yep. To try to work on not flying, to try to battle that pitch off. So it would be like coming at his front foot, and this one's off speed. Try anything you can.
Two retired, and Jason Hayward is first at bat of the night on for Freddie Freeman at first base earlier. Lifted to center field. Matos to the track at the wall. He's got it and made it look easy and comfy. One step up onto that wall to take away extra bases from Jason Hayward and keep it 12-0 Giants.
Play the game brought to you by your Southern California Volkswagen dealers. Take it back to the 5th inning. Lamont Wade Jr. is what opened up this game. 3-run shot. Starter Bobby Miller. Swinging the bat really well, especially coming into this game. We've seen a couple home runs in this. The score is 12-0, but that's what got it started back in the 5th.
Luis Matos leads off the 9th and almost gets hit by Hudson's first toss. This is the 3rd time in the last 6 games Giants have scored at least 11 runs. So they're on the verge of making this a 6-game winning streak. 55 runs over those 6 games.
55, that's circle, Joan. On the same page. I was literally just counting him up. How ridiculous this offense has been. And, you know, I think when you think about Bobby Miller and how good he's been, yes, he wasn't perfect tonight, but a lot of that's also credited to this Giants offense. And it's been a lot of different guys. Shoot, J.D. Davis even coming in later off the bench. They've been on a tear. Best record in all of baseball the last month of the season. I'm just glad we get to get a look at another rookie. Brian Hudson out there for another inning.
Matos takes the leadoff walk. First base runner that Hudson's allowed after his 1-2-3-8. Final game of the series is tomorrow. It'll be Tony Gonsolin for the Dodgers, Logan Webb for the Giants. Gonsolin 4-1 with a 1.93. Trying to be the stopper. Dodgers on the verge of dropping their 9th out of their last 13. The Giants look to head into that game with a 6-game winning streak and a 21-9 30-game stretch. Here are the numbers on Gonsolin for the year. That ERA and the average against, best in the National League.
36 strikeouts. And that swing and miss. Dodgers could definitely use some more of that. 3rd game of the series.
On Father's Day, bucket hat giveaway day.
I see you rocking a bucket hat. Just
It would be my first. Dontrell says we've got to get him one, though. He's a big bucket hat guy.
Yeah. I want the 2 of you together wearing one. Send me a photo.
Yeah.
Next game, you guys work together. Come on.
Strike 3 called. Hudson's got his 2nd K, 1 away in the 9th. And Brian Hudson, in his first outing in LA, gives the people what they want.
Jumbo Jacks.
That's right. 10th strikeout of the game for Dodger pitchers. Strikeouts 9 and 10 have come from Brian Hudson, who doesn't even realize what he's just accomplished. David Villar swings and misses. Villar on for Crawford, who will settle with a 4-for-4 night. Strike 2.
How good is that fastball? I love, by the way, that we got to see Bobby Miller at 101, and now we're seeing Brian Hudson like 91, 92, but getting big misses. Just shows you so many different ways to find success in the game. Don't have to have the flashy numbers. Also just cool to know how many years it's been for Brian Hudson to kind of almost be at that point in the minor leagues, trying to get his opportunity first as a starter, then as a relief pitcher.
VR tomahawks this ball down the line into the left field corner. Martinez over to grab it. That's a double for VR. And they're at second and third here in the ninth.
Goes up and gets this one. Just kind of hangs. We'd seen him really try to get inside to VR on this. Instead he leaves it kind of up and middle.
So second and third, one gone in case you Schmidt to the plate. Hudson delivers. Ball one. Now this debut coming 8 years after he was drafted. Up the middle, picked by Rojas. Gathers and throws to get Schmidt. Run comes in, 13-0. As Matos scores. It's the fourth run that Luis Matos has scored in this game.
Number 31, Lamont Wade Jr.
Two gone for Wade. One. One and two. Shoots it left side. Diving stop by Michael Busch. His throw is by Hayward. And into the dugout. VR in to score. You feel for Jason Hayward, who's played 5 innings over there in his life. And in his 3 innings, he's had 3 balls thrown over there in the dirt that would have required excellent picks.
Well, and with some velocity on him, too. I mean, first of all, Michael Busch, how about this play? Over to his left, spins around to even make this a play. He's got an arm. Also just shows you on a nightly basis, Freddie Freeman, how many he picks like it's nothing.
J.D. Davis to base it the other way. 15-0 Giants. Woof. So J.D. Davis off of the bench today has gone 2 for 3 and driven in 5. Here's Estrada. $15 runs on 16 hits for the Giants. No runs on 5 hits for the Dodgers. And looking at the largest margin of victory over the Dodgers, depending on what happens in the bottom of the 9th inning. But for the Giants head-to-head in a decade, you've got to go back to 2013 to a 19-3 Giants win. From the last time they did this to LA. Estrada muscles the ball to left center field that'll drop in.
It's definitely a night the Giants don't want to end. Everybody wants a chance to hit. And it's been crazy because even the miss hits are just finding holes too.
Yeah, Blake Sabol gets his second at-bat, struck out his first time up. Former USC Trojan Sabol, who was a Rule 5 pick, meaning that if the Giants like him, they got to keep him on the big league roster all year, or he goes back to where he came from, which was Pittsburgh via Cincinnati in that Rule 5 draft. Sabol sends a fly ball to center field that James Outman will settle under. And in the 4th inning of at least 3 runs for the Giants in this game. Not pretty. Bottom of the 9th inning, Will Smith, the leadoff for the Dodgers. Toughest thing and the greatest thing about baseball is that there's always a game tomorrow. For the Dodgers, it'll be Tony Gonsolin. Logan Webb for the Giants, 1 o'clock first pitch. Tristan Beck gets strike 1 on Smith. Oh, 0-2. Got him on 3 pitches.
Dodgers right now just trying to avoid 3rd shutout of the season. First one of those 2 came against the Giants. Back against the game that Alex Wood also started.
A little high on Martinez. 0 for 3 today. Ground ball base hit.
There's a hole. Giants seem to find a bunch of them. JD finds one there.
Brings up Johnny DeLuca. Had an infield hit earlier. And 3 for 15 to open his major league career. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Tristan Beck looking for a save in this game by no matter the margin. Pitching the last 3 innings. Last 4, beg your pardon. In the air to left field. Caught by Sabol. And DeLuca is retired. 2 gone in the 9th. And sets the Giants bullpen up well. I mean, the bullpen game last night where everybody had to work. Alex Wood tonight goes 5 innings. Beck has come on and tries to cover up everybody else. So they're well rested going into tomorrow following Logan Webb, who typically doesn't need a whole lot of help from the bullpen. Dodgers saw him back in April and beat him. Scored 4 runs against him over 6 innings.
It was not one of his better starts. Feels like a lifetime ago. Very different Giants team.
Owen gets by. Martinez goes into scoring position. Gonsolin has not faced the Giants yet this year. Still on the injured list when these teams played back in April. Last season, went 5 innings, gave up just 1 run, and beat the Giants. Next 2-1 to Miguel Vargas. On 3-1, Vargas pops it up on the infield, and this will do it. In from first comes Wade, and the Giants thrash the Dodgers tonight, 15-0 the final. So the Giants win this series. They win their 6th consecutive game, and the gap between these two teams in the standings now just a half game. Final game of the series tomorrow, Gonsolin against Webb. For Kirsten Watson, Jessica Mendoza, the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.